Hey folks, how y'all doing? Trent Clark here with Mallet Buildings. We got a happy Friday, folks. We got a short show today. Again, we wanted to point out the chicken Southern style. Anthony challenged me. I didn't challenge him, he challenged me, and we're going on 2 weeks now, and he has not yet to show up. But you know what? The boys at Southern Style, that doesn't surprise me one bit, because if you look at a post, this is somebody trying to find somebody from their operation. If anyone sees someone with Southern Style Barns and Building LLC, let me know. So they're looking for them too, folks. So it's not just me, that he challenged. I guess they reached out to these people, or they might have built something and didn't finish it. I don't know. Anthony, if you're out there, look, man, I'm gonna be real easy on you. If you still want to show up, let's talk about post frame. You challenged me. You didn't want to talk to Lee. You challenged me. You thought I was a lightweight. Well, come on in. Let's see, Anthony. We'll talk about nothing but post frame. Okay. Now let's get on with the show, folks. $500 discount. We want to mention that every day in case these military personnel, healthcare workers, educators, and first responders are out there. Remember, folks, if you're in need of a building, we're giving you an extra $500 discount. So make sure you get that. Okay, Tiger Cash on our signature series buildings and elite buildings. Type in cash, get an extra $1,000 off that style building. We'll go over that again today so we can show you the differences. Okay, referral program. Remember, folks, you get $200 check every buying customer you send our way. Okay, so if you send a customer our way and they buy a building, if they refer you, we're going to pay you $200. If you do 5 of those a week, we'll give you the money. Just send them on our way. It's an awesome way to make extra money. So this is this week's special, ending tomorrow, folks. If you get this, your quotes in, and you lock it in, we'll give you, I think, a week to lock these in. Okay, so here we go. A 20 by 50 by 12 for $24,999. That's $24.99 a square foot, folks. These value buildings, you're going to get a 10 by 10 roll-up door, 1 walk-through door. You're going to get 4-year workmanship warranty. You're going to get these are 130 mile an hour wind rating, Cat 2. Okay, 26 gauge metal. Scissor truss is standard on the value series now. We used to have an upcharge. We have moved that to a standard deal on the value series. You get 4-inch 4,000 PSI concrete, our cable retention system, and concrete under every hose. So all the value buildings that I'm fixing to talk about, you get all that in there. Okay. So building number 2, you got a 40 by 40 by 12 for $33,999. That's $21.25 a square foot, folks. You got a 30 by 80 by 12, $41,999. That's $17.50 a square foot. That's a great price. Okay, next week's specials. Here we go. Next week's specials right now. Okay, you got a 30 by 30 by 12 for $21,999. That's $24.45 a square foot, folks. The value series. Okay. A 30 by 50 popular building, 30 by 50 by 12, $29,999. That's $19.99 a square foot. This is a popular building, and in fact, I have one this size. Wish I would have went bigger though. So, just to let you know, 40 by 60 by 12, $41,999. All right, now let's talk about the Mallet Signature. So that was a value series. We have 3 series here at Mallet right now. We will be coming out with one in the future that's a little bit better than the Elite package. But right now, from the value series, you go to the Signature series, okay? On the Signature series, you get everything that the value series comes with. I'm not going to go through all those. What I will tell you is, on this one, instead of 2 by 6, which you get on the value, you get 2 by 8 scissor truss. Okay, you get a 5-on-12 roof pitch. You get roof and wall insulation. You get 2 10 by 10 roll-up doors. You get a 6-year workmanship warranty, folks. And then, of course, all this comes with all of our building throughout. Okay. Now, on an elite building, you're jumping up to the best building in the industry. Actually, our signature series is too. But this, we're just throwing in more value products for what you pay for. And I'll go over a few of them with you. On this one, you do get the 2x8 scissor truss. You get the 10-year workmanship warranty. We're going to tighten up your post spacing, which means we're giving you a 9-foot instead of 10-foot, and you're going to get a 3-foot truss spacing. So what does that mean? That's going to get you to 145 mile an hour wind rating, and also it sturdies up everything, folks. It's a superior building. You're going to get the 5-on-12 roof pitch, 2 10x10 roll-up doors, roof and wall insulation, gutters and gutter brushes. This is what I was talking about. Your gutters and gutter brushes combined together is about a little over $20 a square foot, linear foot, not square foot, linear foot. So all the way around your building, you know, if it's 100 foot on one side, 200 foot, you're looking at, the value is there, folks, when you add that up, okay? And on the Elite building, you're going to get a 6-inch, 4,000 PSI concrete. You're going to get post protectors on the Elite building. You're going to get insulated windows on the Elite package. Continuous ridge vents, wainscoting we throwing in on the Elite package. You're getting 145 mile an hour wind load, like I just mentioned. So if you want the best building in the industry, folks, the Elite package is the way to go. Okay. We had a comment, Shane Strew. I think he was commenting on a comment we had earlier. We posted, our wood has lifetime warranty on rot, fungal decay, termites, and rust. We always like to use rust in there because our buildings won't rust, right? Well, he comes back and says, wow, metal buildings suffer from rot, fungal decay, and termites. Dang, they must not make steel like they used to. Well, we responded to him, go ahead and show us a red iron building with a lifetime warranty against rust. That's all we were referring to. We said, and rust. So just wanted to point that out to Shane out there, folks. And this is what we're talking about, okay? I also want to point out something we were talking about this morning in our meeting. I want you to take notice of these columns here on this red iron building, okay? We had a customer that said, first of all, I think he's wrong. He said the red iron was cheaper than what we provided. Right off the bat, I think that's wrong. But he also said that they have to frame, he's doing a barndominium, obviously, and they got a frame inside of that building, okay? Either way, he says he's got a frame inside of the building. But I want to point out that we can put 2-foot truss. These are 3-foot in this building. We can put 2-foot, and you could receive your sheetrock right onto that. This right here, you can add walls to this. You don't have to stud it. You can add walls, girts this way, and sheet your sheetrock that way. I want to point out on a metal building, a red iron building, look how wide these columns are, okay? So this is a minimum of probably 12 foot, so it's 10 inches different from our building at the bottom. But if you take notice at the top, it's going to taper out to about 2-foot span. So folks, I just want to remind you that you get value on living square foot. What do I mean about that? Everywhere you can walk inside of your barndominium or building, therefore, if you're framing it out on the inside. Take notice that in order to get this wall straight, either you got to put your ceiling way down here or you're going to go all the way up here. You're going to come out 2 foot from the side of your building. You're going to lose 2 foot around the perimeter of your building for your square footage. Let's just say if it was 6 inches on a what do we say, a 2,000 square foot, it's 10, you're going to use, it's a 10 by 10 room you're going to use. This is way bigger right here, but 10 by 10 room, that's like a bedroom you might lose. So folks, take that into consideration when you're building something, especially a barndominium. Why would you put a barndominium inside of a red iron building when you're going to lose 2 foot around the whole perimeter of your building. You get value on living square foot. In other words, when you go to the bank, the value comes on the living square foot. When you resell something, the value of that living space comes on livable square foot. You're going to lose a lot in this red iron, okay? Now, we were talking about rust, okay? So keep that in mind. You will not lose that on our buildings, okay, of what I just told you. A lot of people don't think about that until it's too late, all right? So let's talk about rust to Mr. Shane out there. What we were talking about is our buildings are lifetime warranty against rust, Mr. Shane. So here we go. This is a metal building, that column that's rusting. This is what we were referring to. This will happen to a metal building with metal columns, okay? Along the base, you're going to start losing. This is the only thing that is structurally holding this building together, right here. These bolts, okay? So what's going to happen over time is they're going to rust out. And then when you get a hurricane, these 4 bolts could fail, all right? Pointing that out. Here's a 2-year study on 304 stainless steel. That's what they use in the plants. 2-year study is already starting to show signs of decay on that. Galvanized is even worse. And 40 CR steel is even worse than that. So folks, you know, bottom line is post-frame construction, in my mind, I hope it is in yours, is superior. I mean, you're not counting on 4 little bolts that's holding 1 column up. We go 3 foot in the ground. Then we have our cable retention system underneath that locks all our posts together. Just wanted to give you a little insight on that. Okay, this is showing our building is going 3 foot in the ground. This is some of our, on every project that we do, we take pictures like this in our videos of every building that we build to ensure that we're doing quality control, sure that we're doing this on every project. Hopefully it's who's ever watching, and when we build your building, you'll be able to see this too. Okay, let's go over our specials this week one more time. This is tomorrow. You got a 20 by 50 by 12 for $24,999. That's $24.99 a square foot. You have a 40 by 40 by 12 for $33,999. That's $21.25 a square foot. You have a 30 by 80 by 12 for $17.50 a square foot. That's $41,999. All right, next week's specials. You got a 30 by 30 by 12 for $21,999. That's $24.45 a square foot. You got a 30 by 50 by 12 for $29,999. That's $19.99 a square foot. And you got a 40 by 60 by 12 for $41,999 for $17.50 a square foot. This right here, if I was to redo my building size, at the time, a 30 by 50 seemed right to me, but I'm telling you folks, this building right here is one of our most popular size, and you can't beat that price we got right now, starting next week. So if you're in the market, now's the time to get it. Our building specialists are here waiting on you. Apples to apples. Look, if you're out there shopping for a building, okay, and you want to, you know, it behooves you to bring in your quote to us so we can identify problems that you might have with it. We want to show you the difference between what we do and what you're actually getting quoted, okay? And if you don't want to do that, at least take our spec sheet and send that to the people that you're shopping with. That way you can get them to sign off on the quality that you want, okay, folks? So keep that in mind. That's what we call apples to apples. We want to look at your bid. We want to help you. We want to go over, if you're talking about a Bornaminium, we want to go over what I went through a while ago about that red iron building. You're losing way more space than you need to, folks. So at the end of the day, calculate it up. Take away the square footage that you're going to be losing on the inside of that building. You're going to be very, very surprised. Just because you think you're getting a 40 by 60 and you're thinking it's 2,400 square foot, on a red iron building, your living space is going to be way, way, way less than that. I can promise you, especially if you cover up them columns. If not, you're going to have to incorporate those columns somehow in your design to make it look good. Okay, so that's apples to apples. Bring in your quotes and we'll beat them by $1,000. That's it for our show today, folks. Have a good weekend. We'll see you.